Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. It is Monday, September the 24th, 2018, and Monday Night Raw came to us from Denver, Colorado. The Rocky Mountains, maybe the altitude of the Rockies, was affecting the WWE creative staff, or maybe it's just more of the same old WWE bullshit. I am Nick Nightmare, and this is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. It gets harder and harder every week to try to find any kind of a silver lining to bring to the table for you guys, to try to give you any good vibes, any good news, anything positive happening on Monday Night Raw. If you found anything good, you can let me know. Unless you want to just talk about how decent the action was in the Tag Team Championship matchup tonight on Monday Night Raw. Outside of that, there was nothing good to talk about, the worst of which comes in the form of Brie mode. Now, I am going to very carefully tread this line, okay, because I do not want to disrespect Brie Bella as a person. She is a wife, she is a mother, she is a human being with feelings, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that she's trash in the ring. I am not going to sit here and tell you that she has no business back in the squared circle. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that she needs to remain on the E! Network or go flying around the world promoting her little Birdie Bee clothing line and anything else she wants to do. Go stomp wine with your sister, go play with your goats with your husband, go raise your daughter, go be a mom, go be a wife. You don't need to be a wrestler anymore. And tonight, there is no clearer example of that. When you want to look at this woman's evolution that they want to cram down our throats, look at it for everything that it is. And you realize that with the Bella twins coming in, it just took every single thing that is actually being evolved from and brought it right back to the forefront. Brought it right back. Brie Bella kicking Liv Morgan in the head multiple times with tremendous force, with no care involved, absolute recklessness. And the girl went lights out mid-match. You know you've seen it. I definitely seen it. The whole goddamn world was talking about it on social media. And then it prompts the Bellas to give a response. Oh, well, we aspire to, how the hell did they put it? They said they wanted to give you guys a good wrestling match or whatever, and, you know, injuries happen and it is never our intent. That's pretty much the gist of what they were getting at. But you would have just been better off saying, I'm sorry, in a public forum for the world to see. Oh, I'm very sorry, Liv. And that could have been it. Instead of coming off smug and with like this PR press release announcement so that you could try to ease the burn that's coming on you right now, because you absolutely have been nothing but a botch machine for the last 4 weeks. Where is your apology to everybody else that you've been messing up for over the last couple of weeks? Liv Morgan was knocked the fuck out. That's not supposed to happen here. And anybody that wants to defend the Bellas, any of you Total Divas fans, anybody that wants to get on my case, listen, I'm a fan. I was a fan of the Bella twins, not of their wrestling ability, but I understand what they brought. I understand the exposure that they bring to the business. I actually watch Total Divas and Total Bellas because I'm a fucking wrestling idiot. And if I could see the guys backstage and all these things that Total Divas brings to the table that you don't get to see on a Monday Night Raw, I'm fine with it. I don't buy into the storylines. I know all that shit is as fake as half of the stuff that we see on a Monday night. Everything is poorly scripted, everything is overdramatic, and nothing really makes too much sense. But I enjoy watching wrestlers in any element. I like seeing all the backstage stuff. So I understand you guys that like the Bellas and you guys that want to. They have a place in this history. They have a place in the women's evolution. It's called the back. The back of the line. When you got girls like Ember Moon being overshadowed by Nia Jax, who hasn't been around in fucking months. Right? And the only reason she's back is because she won some bullshit E-Entertainment News Award that pretty much gave her a trophy for being a human being that breathes oxygen, and now she's at the forefront of Monday Night Raw again? You're taking the only girl that should be wrestling on Monday Night Raw outside of maybe Ruby Riott, and you're wasting her by making her a side piece for Nia Jax. She's a sidekick coming down so Nia Jax can wrestle with Alicia Fox that I had to see fucking twice tonight. She was out there for almost 20 minutes with Bobby Lashley, and then you want to have her out there actually giving Nia Jax a match, trying to make her look like she's nothing more than the rag doll that Ronda Rousey throws her around the week after week after week after week. And now, was that why she was booked? Or is it because maybe Mickie James was on her period? We all know Alexa Bliss is hurt. There's nobody else to fucking wrestle on the roster because the women's division is trash. The Bellas came back and just overshadowed any work that any of these girls have been doing. They struggle week in and week out to stay safe. They're practicing. They're trying to get better. And then you got these two girls coming in like a hurricane out of nowhere and just winding everything up and screwing everybody, throwing everybody around. And now, not only are you hurting the women's evolution, not only are you hurting the women's division, but you are actually hurting the women. If this was any man on the roster, you would all be singing a different fucking tune. If this was Sasha Banks, everybody would be all over her. Oh no, but we can't disrupt and we can't touch the precious fucking Bella twins, right? Why? Because one of them used to suck off John Cena and the other one's married to somebody that everybody loves? So we can't criticize them when they so blatantly and irresponsibly carry themselves in the ring the way that she did tonight? I'm not allowed to be angry about it. I'm not allowed to voice my displeasure. All of you are. And all of you should be. Because it's unacceptable and it's unnecessary. Irresponsible is the best word for it. And then the WWE are just as irresponsible. The idiots that are checking on this girl at ringside, how good are they at their job when this girl was just lights out in the fucking ring, and then they let her go back in and take a triple suplex spot. And then you got Michael Cole coming out there telling us, oh, Liv Morgan was brought to the back to be checked by EMTs and trainers. Meanwhile, the girl's fucking laying right there at ringside for the world to see. She hasn't moved from the ring. And I'm not supposed to say anything about that. And then with her, in the camera shot, the idiot says, oh, well, Liv Morgan was brought back and blah, 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 just stumbled over himself a little bit because he's looking at the girl that he's telling the world is in the back right now, while she's on the floor being attended to by Ruby Riott after the match. And that's okay. Absolutely unforgivable. Everything that happened in the women's division tonight. Unforgivable. Giving me Alicia Fox twice, that's almost grounds for termination. How dare you? All of the women that you have in NXT or in SmackDown, and even just Ember Moon herself sitting there doing nothing tonight. She's doing nothing. You could have had her in there against Nia Jax. That would have been a more interesting match, but no. You had to have Nia Jax come back and just be attached to Ember Moon for no reason. No rhyme behind it, no story behind it. She's just back. She decides to come back to tell everyone about her trophy. Absolutely ridiculous. Then you want to have everybody I see talking on social media, oh, well, the Authors of Pain, you know, they're going to be Baron Corbin's partners. Of course they were. Of course they were. But what good did it do? Oh, well, they got main event experience. They were in the ring with the Shield and Roman Reigns. That's great exposure. Yeah, sure it was. Sure, it was great exposure. What did they do? What did they do so impressive that put them up to the next level? What did they do? What did the WWE do? They put them with Baron Corbin, that's A, and then Secondly, you have Braun and the Dogs of War sitting outside the ring the whole time. What do you think the crowd's more interested in? Seeing what the Authors of Pain can do, or waiting in the wings for Braun Strowman and company to get involved in everything to turn into chaos the way it's been on Monday Night Raw week after week after week? What else did it do for them? It didn't do shit for the Authors of Pain tonight. All that was a promotion for the Super Showdown 6-man tag team matchup, which the Authors of Pain have absolutely nothing to do with. This match was thrown together, and really the whole thing behind this match was, is Dean Ambrose going to turn? Something else the WWE wanted to go and ruin, so now you ruined a surprise that you could have sprung on everybody. Sure, everybody's talking about it. Sure, there's rumors, but we never know for sure. But you ruin that, you take that away from us, and you kill Dean Ambrose again. Just putting him back in. Get in line, Dean. Just get back behind Roman. That's all that fucking matters. Authors of Pain, you're going up into this match tonight. Oh, no. You think you're going to win? You're not going to win, bro. Hey, come Razor, bro, calm down. You're not going to win. Look, we gave you this little midget. We let you dress him like you, so it looks like you have a Chucky doll of your own. And it's Halloween, you know, maybe you're going to all play dress up and look like a bunch of fucking Ninja Turtle rejects. And you're going to lose to Roman and the guys tonight. You know that, right? That's what's going to happen. You're going to lose. And you're not going to do anything that impressive in this showing of losing to these guys anyway. And then next week, we're going to have you go back and fight Rick and Dick Dinkoff from West Texas somewhere. So what good did it do, these guys? It didn't do anything good. You want to do something interesting? The way you could have explained it is you could have had Drake Maverick enter some sort of a clause or work his magic on Baron Corbin to guarantee the Authors of Pain a tag team championship opportunity against Ziggler and McIntyre for their services tonight. Win or lose, the Authors of Pain get a tag team championship opportunity at their request anytime down the line. Then at least what happens tonight has some sort of a lingering effect of bringing the Authors of Pain up to a next level contender. But what did they do? They did what everybody else does. They went into this match, which involved Roman Reigns. They hit all their big moves, all their big spots. They dominated. They made it look great. And then they lost. They laid on the outside of the ring like two big fucking turtles on their backs while Baron Corbin took the pin in the main event. So Roman and the Shield, the Hounds of Justice, or the Workhorses, what are they? Hounds of fucking horses. Pick a goddamn animal and stick with it. What a fucking joke. What a joke this show was tonight. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm sure there's going to be lots of people saying, oh, it was good for this reason, and it was great for that reason, and this was a moment for the Authors of Pain. This was a moment for this one. No, bro. No, the only moment this was for, which is for one man, Roman Reigns. Dean Ambrose is a case in point. Case in point. You threw out any possibility of doing anything interesting with the Shield by acknowledging and by bringing to the forefront all of the issues that Dean Ambrose might have with the Shield. And you have it come from Dolph Ziggler? Dolph Ziggler's the mastermind that figured this out? Everything that the whole goddamn world could see right in front of him? And you have him come out and verbalize it on Monday Night Raw, turning the episode tonight into a proverbial episode of Game of Thrones, where you have the fat fucking bald guy, I forget his name, Varys, right? He's in everybody's ear trying to stir up the shit. Oh, you can't trust the Shield. They both have titles. You don't. And all this ridiculousness that seems to be etching into the mind of Dean Ambrose. And he starts to make all his lunatic faces. And he starts to look like he's confused and trying to figure things out. Right? And then we cut away. And then we come back to it again, but only this time it's Seth Rollins, and he's talking to Drew McIntyre. He's like, listen, you're trying to talk about me and my boys. What about you? You're the star of your stupid, you're the biggest dogs in the war team, right? You're the big, bad, psycho killer guy. You're going to be Dolph's lackey all this time. You're doing all the work. You literally carried him out of Hell in the Cell. You don't need him. He's got you on a leash, blah, blah, blah. And then you got Drew McIntyre standing there making faces and looking all yeah, and oh, is he right? And blah, 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 blah. And then you have Drew McIntyre talking to fucking Dean Ambrose, saying all the same exact things, telling him just now, oh, well, Seth Rollins was just talking to me, and he was telling me that he might need a new partner, and that maybe blah, blah, blah. And again, on and on and on we go. And essentially, we've seen the same segment 4 times tonight. In the opening with Dolph Ziggler, and then again in the back with Dolph Ziggler, and then with Dean Ambrose, and then with Seth Rollins, and it's just the same segment over and over on the same night. They didn't even have the foresight to maybe plant this seed and let it linger a little bit. Maybe week after week, we see everybody trying to get into each other's ear like they do on Game of Thrones. If you're going to mimic it, at least try to do it right. Don't do 10 episodes worth of stuff in one episode. Stretch it out, move it along. Let it build up, have suspense. Storytelling. This is what we beg you guys for on a weekly basis. We don't want a rapid-fire children's book thrown at us in 30 minutes. We want a long-burning, compelling journey. But instead, you give us, you tie us up and you rake us over hot coals. You're bringing us through the garbage dump slowly but surely, and everything just stinks as we're going along, and the smell's getting worse and worse as we're just getting dragged deeper and deeper into the Roman initiative and the killing of the women's division, and everything else on Monday Night Raw meant absolutely nothing with a big fat 0. Let's get through this friggin' card before I have a goddamn brain aneurysm, because Stephanie McMahon's birthday is among one of a million things I want to forget about Monday Night Raw. WWE forever. Forever trash. That's what forever. New opening signature. Who gives a shit? I'd much rather have had an opening theme song to try to get me hype again. Remember Raw used to come on? Burn, burn, you get the lights, the money. You get fucking hype, even if the show was fucking garbage afterwards. At least to start off, hey, yeah, Monday Night Raw song. Used to have it on your playlist. You had it in your Walkman back in the day. Your little iPod shuffle. All of that is lost. Just like all the common sense in the creative team on this fucking show. We talked about, I'm not even going back into the opening of the show. We talked about everything with the Shield. I don't even want to talk about them again. So let's just continue on past all that fucking garbage to more trash, which is Finn Balor and Bayley versus Jinder Mahal with Alicia Fox. This was not a mixed tag team matchup on this night, but it was nothing more than a commercial for the Mixed Match Challenge. These are 2 teams on the Mixed Match Challenge. Team B&B, right? The happy hugger Bayley with shiny, smiley, happy Finn. The happiest tag team in the world. Meanwhile, neither of them can rub 2 fucking nickels together and scrape out a win. The fuck out of here. With an even worse team in Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. That's the biggest thing they have in common, the way I could do that with both of their names. Otherwise, there is no commonality between the two, except for the fact that they both completely suck. So maybe this should just be Team Sucks But Wins, for some reason. But no, you know what real gem they came up with for this one? Team Mahalisha. Maharaja and Alicia, you see what they did there? They should have just called it Team Go Fuck Yourself, fans, because this is trash. Finn Balor was probably wishing to God that he was not going to be booked on the show tonight, just like last week, when Finn Balor was missing in action. And now tonight it was absolutely necessary to see him wrestle the giant, tan, pimply-backed Jinder Mahal. No thank you. Who the hell cares? Jinder Mahal loses, right? He attacks his little midget Singh guy. And then decides to shanty all over himself. He looked like he had schmutz all over his face. He was spitting all over himself like a fucking animal. Disgusting. Just kill me. The whole segment, that's all I kept saying. Just kill me. This is not Finn Balor. That's not Bayley. And I don't want to see these other two. Just kill me. Then it would just continually get worse, as we know. The 6-woman tag team match, the Riot Squad versus Natty and the Bellas. First of all, this should be the Riot Squad versus Natalya, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. We have been saying this from the beginning because they were the ones that were involved with the Riot Squad before the Bella Twins showed up and just bumped everybody out of the system. Tell me I'm wrong. Go back and watch your shows. Learn your history. That was the road we were on until they decided to hitch their wagons to WWE Evolution and ruin everything. We already talked about this match as well. The only thing you needed to know was that Liv Morgan got the shit kicked out of her, literally, by Brie Bella. The rest of this match was uneventful, inconsequential, and meant absolutely nothing. And this was the match that they wanted to throw the women's champion, Ronda Rousey's name around so much because Natty's her best friend, and the Bellas are training with her, and blah, blah, blah. Make me fucking puke. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Then we had the Connor's Cure segment, which I love. Everything that the WWE does for charity, especially involving children, it's a beautiful thing. And it was a lot of emotion when you watch these things. I find it hard to even watch some of the stories, you know, and I'm stumbling because I don't want to offend anybody, because I'm not trying to go that route. I just feel like, or don't you guys feel like it's just a little bit pompous? Not so much the highlighting of the kids and the championship belts given to the sick kids, not that. But everything that followed that. With the fucking car dealership and the $200,000 check. Pretty much just showing the world, hey, look, we got more money. But only we're going to take this money and we're going to put it to our charity, because this company is giving... Why did that have to be done on a Monday Night Raw? Why couldn't that have been filmed privately before the show, aired on the WWE.com exclusively, or put on the WWE Network? You could have showed it during a lead-in or an end-out for a commercial break. It could have been done that way. Nice and quick. Not all this time to give so that we could essentially see a man hand a gigantic check to two of the richest people in the business, regardless what the intentions of the check were. I feel like it's a little pompous and a little arrogant. Like, hey, look at us. We're doing good. When you want to tell people and show people how much good you're doing, how much bad are you doing behind the scenes that you're trying to just show us so big and bold? Oh, look at us. We're good. We're donating. We're this. We're that. You understand where I'm coming from with that? I hope I didn't offend or hurt anybody's feelings, because it's not about the kids. And it's not about the cause. It's just, why blow it up like that? And take a good 20 minutes away from Monday Night Raw to show Triple H awkwardly being handed a check for $200,000. This is TV, people. Let's treat it like a TV show. We had more of the fucking mind games with Ziggler and Ambrose. I don't give a shit. And then we had Chad Gable versus Connor of the Ascension. And my immediate thought is, Jesus, please help me get through this matchup, because I don't understand why we're seeing the glorious Gables in with the Ascension again at this point. They beat them as a tag team. They already beat them in singles competition last week. We're getting another matchup, and we're not even switching off on the glorious Gables part, right? Bobby Roode's still just standing around, and Chad Gable's doing all the work. Chad Gable goes in there tonight and loses to Connor of the Ascension. Had this maybe been the starting point of this whole thing, it might have made sense, but after already squashing the Ascension is pretty much twice on SmackDown Live, who cares that Connor beat Chad Gable? The only good thing that could come out of this is that Bobby Roode starts to maybe get pissed off and starts to work his way over that fence to the heel side of town and turns on Chad Gable sooner then later that would be the only acceptable route that I see coming out of this whole thing. Until then, I am sick to my stomach of the Glorious Gables, and I don't want to see the Ascension anymore. They were once my favorite tag team coming to the main roster from NXT, and it sickens me to see what they have done to this team, and the fact that it took all this time to get a win for Connor and Victor in some way means absolutely nothing. What is it going to do for Connor? Nothing. Because next week he's either going to lose to Bobby Roode as revenge, or essentially we're going to see the Glorious Gables versus the Ascension one more time at some point. And who do you think is going to win? I doubt it's going to be the Ascension. If they want to do something interesting, they could give the Ascension the win and then start the dissension of Gable and Roode off of that. But that's kind of counterproductive because you want the Ascensions to be the heels in the scenario. But I don't know. We could see where they go with that. It might be able to be something, but we're just going to have to wait and see. We got a promo tonight by Triple H showcasing to us once again for the fourth time in as many weeks that there is no school like the old school, and none of the kids today can deliver a promo like anybody from the glory days of professional wrestling. And it's a shame that these kids of today don't have enough faith put in them to deliver promos of that nature. I know they have the ability within them to do so, but the script that they're given is absolute garbage to deliver, so they fail in their promos because they are not genuine. When Triple H talks about The Undertaker, do you think it's pre-scripted? No, it's genuine. If it is pre-scripted, it's pre-scripted by him and The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Master craftsmen with their words, and this guy in 3 sentences got you more hyped for his match than anything else you've seen on this show that Raw is going to be offering you in the next few weeks. He says the end is near for The Undertaker. That was his point in here. And The Undertaker shouldn't be worried about what suit he's going to be wearing because we don't wear suits in the ring. And The Undertaker claims he's going to take Triple H's soul, but Triple H says he sold that shit a long time ago. So he's going to be leaving empty-handed. And the end is coming from The Undertaker at Super Showdown at the hands of Triple H. We are going to have Shawn Michaels come back to Monday Night Raw next week, and around we go. We know the comeback is going to be in full effect. I'm against it for now, because if it's just this one-off with Triple H at the Showdown or whatever it is they're going to do, it's not interesting. But if he's going to come back for like one last run and like give us some dream matchups and maybe do some special shit and not just do something with The Undertaker, I might have to be a little bit more forgiving, especially if The Undertaker don't give a shit. Who the hell am I to give a shit and tell Shawn Michaels he can't come out of retirement? Absolutely nobody. So we'll again have to wait and see what Shawn has to say next week. We had the Raw Tag Team title match, the Revival versus McIntyre and Ziggler. Once again, this show was all about the Shield, just based off of McIntyre and Ziggler and all of this shit that we had to see them do. They were all over this show tonight. The show was written for that whole foursome in the main event, or however many there are now, because there's too many fucking people to even keep track of in this main event storyline. This tag team title match was a very good match, and it was good for the Revival to see them. Actually, I wanted to be like, hey, there's the Revival. Welcome to Monday Night Raw, guys. This is a fucking great match, and they were doing very good, a very systematic dismantling of Dolph Ziggler as they isolated him into their corner for the most part of the match, only for the Beast to be unleashed when that hot tag was finally delivered to Drew McIntyre and all would be said and done. The Revival almost won this match on 3 separate occasions. The crowd was hot. The crowd was into it. They definitely put on a good matchup, but it was ended almost kind of anticlimactically. It was just, McIntyre came in, he hit a couple of big moves. Next thing you know, Ziggler comes out of nowhere. He was just half dead, and now he's up and apparently able to deliver the zigzag for the zigzag portion of the zigzag combo, which would allow McIntyre and Ziggler to retain the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. Things continue to spiral out of control with Elias and Bobby Lashley. Once again, boring trashily, just given way too much time because they were in his hometown. So I guess they felt it necessary to give him a 20-minute match with Elias. Elias definitely did look good in this encounter, only because Bobby Lashley was playing the babyface gimmick up to its T, which actually looks ridiculous. The man is too big and too strong looking to be being taken apart by a guy like Elias to the point where he was. I mean, all it was leading to was that big babyface comeback, right? But now you got this match too, just going on way, way too long, and the WWE doesn't even give you a good finish. They have Lio Rush out there, Bobby Lashley's hype man, and I'm not 100% behind it, only because I know the real talent Lio Rush possesses, but it's entertaining for the most part, and I just don't understand why, if they're going to have him run around the ring and do all of this parkour style, jumping around, gymnastic flips off of the ring barricade to the steps and whatever to evade Kevin Owens, why isn't he pulling off moves? Why isn't he jumping off the barricade, leaping onto the steps, and then hitting Baron Corbin with a spinning DDT? Or Kevin Owens, or Elias, or somebody. Do something offensive. Right now, he just looks like a flea jumping around that you can't get at. And then he ends up in the arms of Bobby Lashley like a 6-year-old. And I don't think it comes off good. Why is he not being more offensive in his acrobatics? I hope that's something that comes along very quickly. Lio Rush is going to get way more out of this than Bobby Trashley is. He is still going to be boring Trashley no matter what. The guy can't stop his vapid, emotionless smiling. Even when he's getting his ass kicked, he looks like he's just all bugged out, and I'm done with Bobby Lashley. Lio Rush, I feel like, is going to be dragged into the abyss by this whole situation. This match, before it even got started, kicked off as the Kevin Owens show, and Elias on the outside, I don't know. I seen some people were enjoying it. I didn't dig this whole segment. I don't like the involvement of everybody. All of a sudden, Kevin Owens is buddy-buddy with Elias. Like, it just doesn't make sense, and Elias is introducing him in for the Kevin Owens show, only to have Lio Rush come out, and the whole reason they can do all of this, or the only reason they did do all of this, rather, was to give Lio Rush a booster seat because he's so tiny. What is with the creative roster and the short jokes? Do they really have no other well that they could dip into except to compare smaller people to children and babies and school kids? Come on, you gotta be better than that. But again, this match, way too long. Lashley wins by disqualification. So you had all this time and this whole match go on for him to win by DQ. Just uneventful to me. After that came Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox getting any offense here is an absolute joke. Nia Jax should have squashed this woman within minutes. Better yet, this match shouldn't have even have taken place, especially when you got talented individuals like Ember Moon and Ruby Riott on the sidelines in their respective matches tonight, actually not doing well. Ruby Riott was part of the match, but it irks me, you guys. It irks me. I hate everything going on in the women's division. And then the 6-man Shield versus Authors of Pain and Corbin, Braun and company on the ramp. At first glance, like I said, you might think this was good for the Authors of Pain, but it was not. It was all about whether or not Dean Ambrose will turn, which he won't. And the whole thing ends with Roman getting the pin on Baron Corbin, only to have the Shield reunited in the middle of the ring doing their stupid fist thing, and that would be the end of Monday Night Raw. And one of the last things Corey Graves did before they went off the air was kind of put the nail in the coffin, verbally at least, by saying if there was any doubt that the Shield wasn't on the same page, they will be now. And what part of you might have thought they were going to lose that match? What part of you thinks Dean Ambrose is going to turn heel anytime before a Super Showdown? Not going to happen. Definitely not. This show was a farce. It was an abomination on top of a piece of trash that we could have lit on fire and thrown off the Brooklyn Bridge, hopefully never to see again. This show was ridiculous. The show was ridiculous. if you are still here at this point and I said anything that pissed you off, I want to apologize, because it's not my intention to piss anybody off tonight. I just call it like I see it. I tell it like it is. And Brie Bella, man. Whew. Man, I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for checking out the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review tonight. We're going to call it early tonight. There's a whole bunch more we could go off and get all crazy about, but I'm actually friggin' exhausted, and I got more to do all week long. We have the subscription box showdown coming at you guys this Wednesday afternoon, so be ready for it. It's all edited. It just needs to render out tomorrow, and then after we go live with SmackDown's review tomorrow night, we will be posting the subscription box showdown for September. Make sure if you voted last month, you tune in to see who you voted for as last month's champion, and don't forget to leave your vote for this month's winner when it goes up Wednesday afternoon. And the best way for you to not miss it is to subscribe to this channel right now. Stay notified by hitting that notification bell so that as soon as that video drops, you will know that it is there for your viewing pleasure, and you can get that vote in and let me know what you like the best in my subscription boxes. We also have House of Glory coverage all weekend long. I was living on a high cloud because we were hanging out at House of Glory on Saturday night for Chapter 3 with an absolutely shocking twist that you would not believe. And I tell you guys about it in the House of Glory Chapter 3 review live on this channel right now as well. Don't forget to check that out, as well as everything else that a wrestling fan could ever need. This is your home, your central hub for all things wrestling, and a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of opinion. And I welcome yours as well. Leave your comments down in that comment box below. Leave me your questions about tonight. Let me know what your favorite part of the night was. Let me know if you think I was a little bit too hard on Brie Bella. Let me know if you think I wasn't hard enough on Brie Bella. Maybe some of these cool questions that you guys throw at me could show up on the tail end of a subscriber Q&A episode that just might be popping up in the near future. We got to get some good questions first, so don't be shy and shout it out from the rooftops and get it out in that comment section down below. Do not forget to smash that like button with your sledgehammers at home, and then share this video with all of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they know, like we know, this stupid show was a piece of hot garbage, just like it is every Monday night. Will the change ever come? I don't know, but we will be here to tell you when it does. Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is my trusty team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the wrestling god of thunder, and the official sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, my little buddy, and the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in the entire universe, Mr. Blue the Snowball Microphone. We are so glad to be with you here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. That is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live right here on your new favorite YouTube station for all of your wrestling needs. Sledgehammer TV. Have a good one.